Congratulations on your new solar shade. This video will help guide you through the installation process. Let's identify the parts of your shade. Here's your valance, bottom tube, and shade fabric. Left valance cover, plug bracket, plug with pin, right valance cover, crank bracket, crank plug, bottom tube plug. In your hardware kit, you have 3 valance brackets, 8 screws, and 2 bungee systems. In the pole package, you should have pole long piece, pole mid piece, and pole handle piece. Also, 2 pole screws, 2 pole lock washers, 1 hex key, 1 ring, and 1 ring screw. After you have identified your parts, you will need to install the ring on your shade using the provided ring screw. Be sure to tighten the ring screw completely. Before you begin, you will need to determine your type of installation. This is a wall installation. This is a ceiling installation. Before you begin, consider the following tips. Your shade comes with a total of 3 valance brackets. You must install at least 2 of them. The 2 required brackets should be installed near the ends of the shade, but allow 2 inches of clearance to both ends. If you choose to install the 3rd bracket, install near the center of your shade. Leave 1 inch above brackets for a wall mount and 1 inch behind brackets for a ceiling mount. It is important to install your brackets into wood studs. If wood studs are not available, anchors will be needed. Contact your local hardware store for information on wall anchors. It is very important that your valance brackets are installed level with each other. If your brackets are crooked, or if they are not level with each other, your shade will not install correctly. We recommend using a laser level to align the pilot holes. Now it is time to install your shade. Install your mounting brackets using 2 screws per bracket. For a wall installation, hook the top of the valance on the top of the brackets. Then rotate the shade down until you hear it lock into place. For a ceiling installation, hook the back of the shade on the back of the brackets. Then rotate the front of the shade up and lock it into place. When clicking your shade into place, it may help to use an object to press the thumb latch. Assemble the 3-piece pole by sliding the long piece and handle piece into the pole mid piece. Make sure the lock pole washers are on the pole screws before attaching the screws. Your shade includes a bungee and hook system to secure the shade. To install the bungee system, start by installing the hook into a wood stud. Then feed the bungee through the bottom tube plug and insert the bungee into the hook. Remember, you should always roll your shade up during moderate to high wind conditions. If you want to reverse the direction that your shade rolls, simply roll your shade all the way down. Continue rolling the shade. It will roll itself back up in the opposite direction. However, if you reverse the roll direction of your shade, you will need to flip the gear on your crank bracket to prevent the fabric from interfering with the ring. Flipping your gear will be explained later in this video. If you prefer that your crank be on the left side of your shade, you have the option of moving it. Remove the bracket covers and set it down next to the valance. Unscrew the bracket by loosening the 3 screws and place the bracket on the ground next to the valance. Repeat this process for the other side of the shade. Next, rotate the valance 180 degrees, leaving the shade on the ground. Now, reverse the valance covers. Do not reverse the brackets. Now you can reassemble your shade. It is important to push brackets all the way inwards towards the shade before tightening the screws. If you change the roll direction of your shade, or you moved the crank bracket to the left side of the shade, you will need to flip the gear on your crank bracket. Start by removing the valance covers from the shade. Next, remove the crank bracket from the shade by loosening the 3 screws that secure the crank bracket to the valance. Then remove the 2 screws on the outside of the crank bracket. Separate the 2 pieces of the crank bracket. Flip the gear portion and reattach with the 2 screws. Now you can reassemble your shade. Thank you for your purchase.